Day 20, working on the cure for the terminators. So mostly I've just been kind of thinking about the universal writing system and just mulling over whether or not this would actually work. I'm going to have to erase all of this finally, because I was thinking maybe I could keep it up for a couple weeks, but I usually need to wipe the whiteboards every couple of days, because that's how fast the project work is. So I'm not sure where Project Bluebeam would fit in any of this. Maybe it happens in the middle here. I don't know. Some stuff that I've managed to confirm over the period of time was that this is a lot more faster coming than I expected. The Earth Alliance Space Force. All of these talks that are happening over this year and the next year, 2024 to 2025, is just going to be just getting us to the point where everyone's going to be doing space. No one's really talking about the combat mecha, but I have predictions that that's going to actually definitely happen during 2025. We'll see. And I did kind of on a whim for the Great Solar Flash assume that perhaps it's artificially induced, but I think that makes more sense than the Great Solar Flash being something that's just astronomical or astrological. Not that that's impossible either. I just haven't seen any astrology reports that indicate that that's how that's going to happen. It'd make more sense that they would just kind of make it happen. Oh, and who knows if they're really going to declassify ion cannons. I hope so. Yeah, because if the ion storms start, I don't know if they would really want to declassify ion cannons and say, oh, sorry, that was our fault. Then again, that could be like a multi-twisted declass. And here's something I didn't talk about. It's predicted that the Kane dossier is going to get leaked. And so what that is that in 2027, we get access to a document, a full-blown investigation about Kane, the person who is the leader of this whole thing. And I'm not sure if that's really going to happen, but that was definitely on one of the soft D classes that I noticed. Oh, right, and the White Hat Rebellion. This is something that I didn't really think about. And I was watching some folks that were talking to a Freemason on a group, and I realized that there's this kind of gaslighting that most Freemasons have on themselves about their organization and their oaths. And I think that there are I'm starting to really think for the first time that there might actually be a lot more white hats than we anticipated, just because of how much gaslighting Freemason leadership has been giving their minions, the people who are under the 33rd degree. If that's true, and they start paying attention to the Truther movement and find out that we're not, lying, or at least we're honestly trying to work with them to save the world. It's like, listen, there's been an infiltration in your group, your leadership's compromised, please find out. The White Hat Rebellion would be inevitable. And according to the narrative, that definitely indicates that that's something that's real. I think that's going to happen probably around this time, actually, that this would be the year for that to kick off. And the reason why is because of the SSPs losing their special access program status and the major declass of disclosure occurring. Because we just had, the DoD was just released officially that they're completely overhauling all of the classification process to support all of these different organizations and other nations, allies, and stuff like that. Everybody's going to be able to get that intel for the first time. And that's really going to change the game here, because once that happens, or rather now that has happened, it's going to be a lot easier for the military folks to figure that out on their own, white hats or not. And that means that the white hats will have an easier time making those conversions. The minions will have an easier time making those conversions. And when I say those conversions, I mean just basically abandoning their original oaths and creating a rebellion against the Cabal, who they now become aware of, and saying, wait a minute, we're the good guys, we joined the Freemasons to be good guys. Maybe we should help these folks save the world against this infiltration of our organization. And even if the organization is lost, which I don't think it has to be, I imagine the Freemasons might actually be salvageable, and so maybe transformed, something good. Because they're not the only secret order who was infiltrated. It was like a bunch of them. Like the Rosicrucians knew about it. They put out a warning to all of the other Rosicrucians. I saw that report. There was another one, the Order of the Golden Dawn. They figured it out and they put out a report. So I think that behind the scenes, a lot more indeed has been going on. And it's only a matter of time before the mainstream gets privy to the whole situation. Yeah, I'd say out of all of the spots, I think Blue Beam would happen in the middle right here. This would be the critical moment, because then the Cabal would be able to easily be exposed for what they're doing. And here, see, there's a lot of religious extremism that's happening and exposure of that. And that would be like this critical juncture of truthing across the entire planet of what's really going on. Right? The shadow forces must fight in the light. Many grip onto their religions, reaching for the final chapters of their book and then closing it off. But then there will be people who don't want that to end because of the power that they were able to hold on to, and that creates these extremist rebels that splinter off. This is for a video game, and that results in anarchists that fight the system, that merge from the minions here, that also are from the rebel alliance here. And the IoT mass surveillance tech I thought already exists, but now that I think about it, it might take a couple more years for that to really manifest, which would explain why the time wave says IoT mass surveillance on this side of this year. And the real kicker here is, for those of you like, ooh, it's so negative, it's like the best way to counteract all of this is to transmute the dark to the light. So this is trying to figure out how are we going to get into a more positive timeline by mapping the potential negative and neutral timelines. And there's positive on here, especially the blue stuff. Blue stuff's like just me trying to inject positive stuff, as opposed to all the black marker stuff is for either neutral, positive, and negative. There's positive here, like a global AI ethics summit. That's so positive. Like, yes, please. And it's like sooner rather than later. Yes, please. And yeah, like national D-class and UFO disclosure. I mean, I think that's pretty positive. And someone was saying that they don't think that this might happen, but this was on the time wave for the second half of 2024. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but they were saying that they think that there's going to be a market boom that's going to bring the money to like an infinite something. So, I mean, a lot of this is simply just, step out of the way. Here it comes. Here's this giant boulder coming down the mountain. Just step out of the way. So that's how you do it. Some of this I don't know how to step out of the way. Like this thing. This was one of the things I was like, how the heck do we step out of the way of that? So the things where I'm looking for are, I have no idea how to step out of the way of that. It looks like we have to make something to step out of the way of that. So here we have, like, towards the end, we're dealing with some Skynet problems. And that Skynet issue starts way over there. So the idea was, well, let's go a couple years back and figure out how can we start working on the cure now so that it's ready, the cure is ready by 2025. And then on 2025, we can develop the deployment platform. So that's ready by 2026 when they turn this thing on. That way we can then set up the counter by developing the CISIS, and then once that's developed and the Angel AI project begins, 2027 we can build the Angel AI, and then we can have all of that prepared to augment Skynet with the CISIS in time to stop the Cabal AI from corrupting Skynet and thereby saving the future. So I think that that's a pretty benevolent. I think that's a really good way to save our timeline. So I'm going to get started.